Dr. Rupesinghe, what are your views on the present constitutional reforms which are before the Select Committee? There are varying views. It is far-reaching, all right. The reforms are far-reaching, but the Sinhalese feel it's too much. The Tamils say it's not enough. And there are the others who feel that the LTTE should not come into the equation. They should be militarily finished with. What are your views?
Well, let me take the question of the militarily finished with question. I think in modern times, the whole idea that another group can be militarily finished with is flawed and does not seem to have gained much currency in the literature or in the research on modern conflicts. I want to just present to you one example of which international alert was involved, and that is Chechnya, part of the Russian Federation, where President Dudayev of Chechnya sought to devolve power and to seek a separate state within the Russian Federation. He presented this as a way of negotiating, renegotiating with the Russian Federation.
Separate state or more autonomy? What was
he declared separate state only as to bargain more for autonomy. And in that situation, he called upon us to assist him in negotiating a peaceful agreement on this issue with the then Russian government, of which the Minister of Nationalities was Professor Tishkov. And we engaged ourselves in this to promote this dialogue between the two parties. But a more hardline approach evolved, and there was a feeling that a military solution was the answer. And the military did intervene in Chechnya. And over 150,000, 200,000 troops were sent. And Grozny, the capital of Chechnya, was razed to the ground. About 40,000 people were killed in that particular war. And the population was evacuated, and the Russian troops got embroiled in Chechnya, and over a period of time had to retreat. President Dudayev himself was killed, but it did not stop the movement. The movement got more vigor and sustenance through the death of Dudayev. And eventually, as you know very well, the Vice President of Russia, Lebed, was able to obtain a peace agreement, and President Yeltsin has now confirmed the peace agreement to bring peace. And here is a very good example that a military solution, even by a big power like the Russian Federation, was not able to contain the movement for self-determination of a people. And I think this is a lesson that we need to really take into heart. Now, on the question of the devolution package of the PA government, I would think that there are different forms in which governments in Sri Lanka have tried to address this very vexed question of the self-determination of the Tamil people. The Bandaranaike Chelvanayakam Pact, the Senanayake Chelvanayakam Pact, the Jayawardena Accord, the 13th Amendment, as well as the current package, are all examples of attempts by Sinhala leaders to provide an adequate solution and guarantee to the minorities of this country. And I think the lesson that one must take into heart is that the failure of past initiatives has been a lack of a bipartisan approach to this question. And I think it is imperative that before we move into the 21st century, that a bipartisan solution is reached, that the two political parties are able to sit down and come to an agreement on the modalities of the package, and that it is seen by both sides as a win-win solution, that one side doesn't lose and the other side wins. It is a situation where both sides may lose if the package is not implemented, and we move into the 21st century, a much more divided society. So I think given that situation, the imperative of a win-win solution in the South is very, very important. And secondly, that the LTT has presented its own observations to the package in the Oslo seminar as well as in seminars in Australia. They have put forward also new proposals about power sharing. They need to be taken into account. And therefore, together with the bipartisan approach in the South, a negotiated settlement in the North is crucial. And I see both these as twins to resolve this issue finally before the 21st century.